Welcome back. In this video, we'll cover Block 4, Chapter 16 to Chapter 20 in Outsmarting Reality by Neuro Knowledge. So in Block 4, we'll focus more on the environment side of things, meaning how you, in Chapter 16, transcend the collective, in Chapter 17, where attention beats intention, Chapter 18, where you have to prepare to be bad, Chapter 19, where the energetic ceiling is discussed on what is your self-worth, essentially, and in Chapter 20, when reality goes wrong. So, let's begin with Chapter 16, Transcend the Collective, Escape the Matrix, or at least transform the Matrix. So here are some quotes from Chapter 16. Don't inherit the limitations of others. Theirs are not yours. Meaning, when you see other people's limitations, they are not your limitations. They are their limitations, right? And this is very easy to do because you fall into the trap of the collective hive mind or the collective of everyone, and you adopt everyone's beliefs as your own beliefs. That's the way we've been programmed as human beings. We have to transcend that. And to transcend that, we need to create a good emotional firewall. We'll come back to what that actually means. And the second quote is, metaphysically, this energetic equilibrium helps to explain why the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer. So that's also a quote from this chapter, and it focuses more on why having an energetic balance creates, it's the two M's essentially. The magnify and maintain that we covered in the chapter about the two M's of the universe, but it also showcases in this collective mind, because a collective of rich people gets typically richer and a collective of poor people typically gets poorer, and that's a by-effect of how the collective hive mind works. So let's get started. Collective hive mind. Collective consciousness acts like gravity, detached to exceed social limits. So the matrix is an accumulation of the frequency of the people. We can call that the hive mind. So you have a frequency, I have a frequency, and everyone have their frequency. And if you add those frequencies up, you get a meta frequency, or you can think of it as a new bubble. And the earth has a bubble of frequencies. And what's important is to realize that whatever the collective is quote unquote feeling or has as a frequency is not yours. You have your own frequency, and your job is to protect it. The second part here is you don't really have to escape the matrix. You change it to what you want. And the point here is to escape from being in a feeling of lack, because when you feel like you have to escape, you feel like you're not good enough from where you are. And what you want to do is you want to attract all of those thoughts and all of those feelings back to you, center it, and then recalibrate it in a way that serves you. We'll cover that in the next video about reframing. Disconnect from the beliefs, from the collective, and the social contract. So that is essentially what we're trying to do here. We're not trying to escape, because escape is a feeling of not being good enough and trying to fill the void with something else. We're trying to disconnect. The same way we have a mental garden with applications in our mind running and beliefs, we want to remove those beliefs that come from the collective that doesn't serve us, and same with the social contracts. And some popular beliefs to disconnect from is all rich people are evil, money is the root of all evil, money is just a tool, it's just a vibration, it's just something out there. And this is very hard to conceptualize when you're down bad and you really need money, and you hear someone on YouTube saying money is not the root of all evil, or money is not that important. But It is an element in the physical world to keep you from being in survival, so I respect that, but it's not the God that it is being presented as today. The second part here is my body is not good enough, I don't deserve to be loved. This kind of rhetoric is something that is also spinning around in social media and trying to be reframed as you are good enough. And this is not something that is directly said typically in social media. It is sometimes, but it's more about the feeling you get after being on, for instance, Instagram or TikTok, where the subconscious belief you're adapting is, wow, why am I not that fit? Or wow, why am I not that skinny? And that is the belief that you need to take a hold of. So it's kind of a sneaky thing there. The third thing is the world is doomed, and there's nothing we can do about it. So this is also a very common feeling to have nowadays, because all we see typically is negative stuff in the media. And there is a lot of positive things that are happening as well. And this is just a general reminder that what we see in the media is just a little snippet of what's actually going on. There's a lot of good going on, but good doesn't sell as well as bad, unfortunately. So all we typically see is a war and horror and crimes, because that is what sells. So be aware that there is a balance between good and bad in the world, but we don't see it that way because we're not presented it from that way. And chronic self-criticism, that's also another one that is a popular self-belief. You're not good enough, you're not high enough in a position to feel or do something, you are not fit enough, not strong enough, all of these things, and that doesn't serve you at all. And typically this comes from childhood, so trying to figure out what type of beliefs that are causing you to have this self-criticism is essential in this work. And the last one is all men are trash or women are hoes. This is also something that is circulated through media, through characters like Andrew Tate or the Red Pill movement, or on the other side, more radical feminists who claim the opposite, that men are the reason why society has failed, etc. And these are oversimplifications. It's to create a collective that have a certain belief, and within that collective you get your praise for having the opinion that you have. This is also shown in, for instance, in American politics, where you have this democratic way of thinking, or the conservative way of thinking, without actually critically thinking for yourself what your opinion is. So the clue here is to create what this amazing animation will show, an emotional firewall. And that is, regardless of the stuff that happens in your life, whether it's drama, energy vampires, what you do on the toilet, whatever it is that comes your way, you can create an emotional firewall that is strong enough to protect it. And that is essentially the goal of this work as well. When we say to maintain your frequency, it is not only to just get yourself up to a certain level where you can energetically feel it, it's also to be able to protect that vision. An example of someone with a very strong mindset and a very strong frequency, I would say, is Cristiano Ronaldo. He says, sometimes you don't want to go to the gym. Of course, no, but I go because I have a compromise with myself, but I am not very happy every day. The most important thing is to have a routine and consistency. And he's showing multiple things here. One, he's showing the ability to follow through is crucial for him, and sometimes he's not happy about it, but he goes either way. And it also showcases how his emotional firewall becomes so much stronger because he has this self-respect for him that he constantly tunes. So he attributes that to routine and consistency, but the deeper metaphysical thing here is he attributes it to the ability to follow through. And again, emotional firewall. So a clue here is to be more offline and be more present in your day-to-day without a screen, and try at least to disconnect from the news once in a while, because we are not here to only process whatever happens in the world real time. We're also here to live a life not in constant fear, but in a feeling of abundance, gratitude, and joy. And from that place, we can actually make good changes. We all have this capability, and I think we should definitely disconnect more and connect more to our real selves. Okay, that was a beautiful preach. Now over to chapter 17, Attention Beats Intention. So here are some quotes from chapter 17. Reality is nothing more than materialized frequency. Frequency is nothing more than vibration that has gained momentum, and vibration is formed by concentration. Can also add here that a vibration is an energetic signature, but the overarching principle here is that everything starts with concentration or attention. That gains a little type of a vibration, and that vibration, when it has accumulated, becomes a frequency. So the meta point here is intention has not a lot to do with that chain of causation. It's more about where you put your attention. The second point here is the person who concentrates on the devil, recession, difficulty will be found by it. And that is just by the law of the multi-dimensional sequence that we just discussed. It's the fact that what you concentrate on becomes your beliefs, and your beliefs are your glasses in the way you see reality. What you focus on, you feed. We will cover that deeper in the next slide. And it doesn't matter how much you want to be rich. If you focus on what you lack, you're aligning with the frequency of poverty. And what does that mean? Well, it's to do a deeper dive with the aspects of intention versus attention. When you put your intentions on becoming rich, it's what you want, it's what you plan, it's what you aim. But if your focus, your concentration, your attention is still on the physical world that shows that your bank account is minus, you are in a negative state of mind, you will still be aligning with the frequency of poverty. So thinking that you will grow rich does not make you grow rich, but focusing on growing rich might actually grow you rich. That is the clue here. So, attention. Attention leads to frequency, which leads to your reality. The universe follows sustained focus and attention, and that is the main point of this chapter. Attention is the water, and your frequency is the garden. If we remember one of the earlier videos, we covered something called the mental garden, where you have to take care of that, and the way you take care of that is by putting attention on the beliefs, the thoughts, the identity, the mood that you have, in a way that waters it by attention. So that's a long way of saying attention is the water and your garden is the frequency, and the way you water your garden and take care of your garden through water or attention is the way you grow your frequency, which in fact will turn into your desired reality. And intention is a aim or a plan, and that is good. It's not necessarily bad, but it's not the full kind of it's not the full picture. The full picture is attention becomes before intention. It doesn't necessarily beat it, but I understand why Nero called it attention beats intention. But intention also has some value and some merit. It can be viewed as a part of your intuition. So it's not completely garbage, but it is not before attention. Attention is king. Your focus and attention is your gold, and you have to protect your gold. Attention is energy, and that energy should be spent on your desired reality, and all the time or all the energy that you spend in your unwanted desired reality, your unwanted reality is eventually going to create something you don't want. So if you really want to turn your life into something you truly want, 1, you feel like you already have it, and 2, you put your constant attention on the fact that you already have it. And point number 2, if you become aware of which polarity you're feeding, you will know when to switch your concentration away from an unwanted reality to a desired reality. And the point here is being whatever you put your attention on is essentially what you will feed. So that's the point here. And a little thought exercise is, what is sapping your energy? Is it email? Is it people draining you? Is it constant messaging? Is it social media? Is it being in the friend zone? I don't really know what's true for you, but I know something is sapping your attention, and by default then sapping your emotion, and by default then sapping your energy, and so on. So a thought exercise you can do is thinking, what is causing you to lose your energy or lose your focus throughout the day? We all have this thing where we say that, oh, my focus is poor, or I have this, or I have that. And that might be true for some of you. But for most of us, we don't have poor attention. We all have attention. We are attentive all the time. It's just, what do we put our attention on, and for how long can we sustain our attention? And that is a very, very different way of framing the situation, rather than saying you have poor focusing skills. You're focusing all the time. You're just focusing on unwanted things. Okay, let's move on to chapter 18, Prepare to be Bad. So here are some lovely quotes from chapter 18. People often feel like they're being held back by those around them, and while that perception isn't entirely wrong, it's not the full truth. It's a half-truth. The reality is, no one can truly hold you back except you. What does that mean? Well, it's natural to feel that when you're doing this type of work, people will try to drag you down back to your old frequency, not out of malicious intent, but just because that's how the universe works. So, it's not really them trying to hold you back, it's you holding yourself back in a very meta way. And this is weird to conceptualize, but it's kind of like you created this figure and it supported you throughout life, and now you're kind of moving away from it, and it's saying, no, I want you to stay, and then it kind of orchestrates the universe to make you stay. The second point here is, it's a lacking awareness of how you're limiting yourself that creates the illusion that others are the cause. And that is also a very nice way of putting that you are limiting yourself. It's no one else that is limiting you, and we know that from the multidimensional sequence. And the true clue here is to understand that you are creating all of this from you, and it's by you. And the process of materializing your desired reality will require you to unapologetically break the social contract that you signed on all 3 levels. And what are the 3 levels? It's the mental, spiritual, and physical level. And from the Kybalion, we also know from the law of correspondence that as above, so below, as below, so above. And what does that mean? Well, it's the fact that you have signed the social contract that we talked about from the first quote, where you have created this belief, this spiritual being that align with a certain frequency, and now you want to move away from that frequency, and you have to face however the universe works, which is, it wants to maintain and it wants to magnify. Okay, prepare to be disliked. What is a good person? Very metaphysical deep philosophical question. Not gonna dive into that, but the overarching theme here is you have to be prepared to be disliked, because you probably are someone who is already a likable person to a lot of people based on your old frequency, because you have a certain set of beliefs and identity that kind of align and serve them in a good way. And you are someone people can relate to, and you probably want to avoid discomfort. Someone who doesn't make other people feel bad, so you're kind of dismissing yourself in that same way. Someone who puts others before themselves, even to their own detriment, and you're probably putting yourself first regardless, but that's kind of a tricky point. And someone who knows their place, and what you want to do is you want to change that to changing the status quo. And someone who is humble, also who is avoiding lifting yourself, and you conform to norms. And this is just an example of what a good person is. It's someone who good as in not necessarily good, but someone who is perceived as good. It's someone who kind of blends in, doesn't really cause a lot of drama, just makes the system flow well. And an example of this is in The Matrix, and I am not claiming to be the biggest Matrix fan. It's a great movie, but the example here is not the red pill, blue pill thing. It's more when Neo walks around and he causes a bit of a stir when he is changing his thoughts, and you can see that the Matrix is kind of attacking him in a way. And it's weird because when he's his normal self, the Matrix doesn't really care. But when he's changing, something interesting happens. People get annoyed, they bump into him, they give him faces, and then that evil guy that I can't remember wants to shoot and kill him because he's causing a stir in the Matrix. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you. So, being good is not always the best idea. An over-attachment to being good can keep you small. So you have to dare to disappoint. You have to, quote-unquote, not be humble. Be a decent person. But, this idea of not taking enough space, being compliant, soldier, that type of stuff. So, be good in the way that you are good. Use your values and use your intuition on that. But don't keep yourself too small. Dare to be seen. Dare to try. And think critically for yourself. An example here is on a flight when you're asked to put on your own mask, oxygen mask, before someone else. It's not because you are super selfish and you should 1000% kind of not I don't know how to put this, but you should obviously put on your own mask before you put on someone else's mask. And the reason for that is it's not because you're selfish. It's actually because when you have covered your own needs, you are in a state of mind that you can actually help someone else. But if you constantly help everyone else and sapping your own energy, you end up in a state where you're absolutely not able to help someone at all. You might even hurt someone else. So it's important to create a certain type of balance in your life. That's the point that I'm trying to make. And people see you as your old frequency, not because they're bad, but because they do not see you as you are. They see you as they are. And this point is actually really important. We as human beings are not able to see reality as a whole. No one is really able to see reality as a whole. We as the collective see the reality as a whole. What does that mean? That means that no one really has an idea of what's going on. We only have an idea of what's going on through our lens. And we can control that lens, but we can't control what everyone else's lenses are. But the fact that someone sees you in a negative light because their glasses are not shaped in the way that it perceives you correctly is not really your problem. And to fully grasp that, you have to iterate on that idea a couple of times. But we're all a bunch of mirrors walking around, and if someone else's mirror is dirty, that is not your fault. You can obviously know that, but don't take it to heart. The last point here is good and bad are just notions of polarity, and it's also just notions of the law of rhythm, and it's just a way of saying duality. Some things are good and some things are bad. It's just a different rate of vibration. So remember, the old frequency, it's not evil, it's just its baseline. And this can be thoughts, it can be beliefs, it can be your mood, it can be a partner, it can be ideas, it can be family, friends, co-workers, teachers, whatever it is. It's not really their fault. No one is evil. No one is trying to ruin your life. You're just trying to change your frequency, and that has some kind of energetic consequences. And that's fine. Chapter 19, the energetic ceiling. Self-worth is your energetic ceiling, determining the limits of what you can materialize in reality. And we'll get deeper into what that actually means, but whatever you think of yourself, which is an accumulation of all of your beliefs, is your self-worth. And you can only have what you already have, which is one of the laws. And if you feel or think you can't have it, you won't have it. And the mistake that most people make is allowing their self-worth to be determined by the external or other people. So they walk around the universe being a great person. They don't really know it, but they just think very low of themselves, even though other people might think highly of them. And that has consequences for you energetically, because it limits how much you can actually materialize in this world. And an individual can believe they deserve a prosperity, but due to their emotionally intense experiences with suffering, their subconscious mind only knows suffering, unfortunately leading to materialize more suffering. And that's a very sad way the universe works, but it also showcases that it's not really about morality, it's more about the natural causes of law. So with that being said, let's go over to self-worth equals the max energetic ceiling. You can only have what you already have. Every identity has a frequency cap. Expand self-image to rise and fall to your level of self-worth. And it's essentially, we've used this analogy of glasses, but I really like it. And it's essentially how you see the world through your glasses and through your lenses is how reality will perceive you. So if you perceive things through the lens of, regardless of whatever happens, it's okay, it's going to be okay, everything will be fine, everything will work in order, and I will succeed, or I will prevail, or I will learn and I will grow. It's the same kind of polarity as everything is going to hell, nothing works for me, it's not going my way, that type of thinking. And it's both the same polarity, it's just a different side of it. Same as a magnet, you have a negative side and a positive side. Exactly the same thing here. It's the same thing, just flipped in a different way. And your self-worth is your max limit. You accept the things you think you deserve, and that is the main key point here. You accept the things in your life that you think you deserve. And if you think you deserve shit, subconsciously you will get it. And if you deserve or think you deserve abundance and greatness and gratitude and calm and being relaxed, that is what you will attract to your life. And this is not about wishful thinking. This is what you truly believe, and no one can really force you to truly believe anything. So you have to dive deep into yourself and figure out what you truly believe. Normalize bigger successes internally first. That's about shifting left in the multi-dimensional sequence, focusing on the attention and the frequency of winning internally, and then seeing it materialize in reality. It could be in football, where you feel like you've scored a goal before you've actually scored it. It can be having a presentation where you feel like you mastered the presentation and the material before you actually held it. It can be whatever, but it's about feeling the result before it actually happens. And expand ceiling through visualization. We covered that in the second video on the 2-part visualization loop and emotional alchemy. The mind does not separate between reality and imagination. This is a scientific fact. The mind cannot separate between dreams and reality, meaning that we have a very, very powerful tool in our mind to create feelings in ourselves that just by mere thought we can actually feel are real, which is incredible. And if you think that I am lying or not telling the truth here, do it for yourself. Test it as an exercise. Imagine you doing something, meeting something, feeling something, and actually try to visualize it. It's possible. And the reason why it's possible is because your mind does not separate between reality and imagination. And some of the traps here are external dependencies shaping self-worth. Self-worth is often mistakenly tied to external factors, specifically dependency on others' opinions, approval, validation, and recognition, and dependency on success and failures. What does that mean? This is a deep point. So the opinions of others, meaning approval, validation, and recognition, the two most important people in your life are typically your parents from a very young age. And when your self-worth is dependent on their opinion, you better pray to God that their opinion is unconditional love regardless of what you do. Because if it is based on certain conditions, then you are in a bad spot and you have to do some work on yourself to figure out what those conditions were and then untie them or undo them and give yourself the unconditional love you deserve. And the second part here is dependency on success and failures. A lot of East Asian parents have raised their kids, and also a lot of other parents have raised their kids to say that if you don't succeed, you don't deserve love, essentially. And this also happens in rich families as well, and it's a dependency in the condition of love you deserve. It's a dependency on the condition that you are accepted of love from us as the parents, as society, as the teachers, or whatever, siblings, based on the fact that if you succeed, you will get approval, and if you don't succeed, you are an abomination. And that's a very direct way of putting it, but it's the short version. So self-worth is something you control, and you control your max energetic ceiling. So increase that ceiling as far as you want. This is a scene from the movie The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I really like this quote. The main character asks, "Why do nice people choose the wrong people today?" And the teacher answers, "We accept the love we think we deserve." And this applies for everything. This is the core takeaway from this chapter. It is the fact that we accept the love we think we deserve. So if you think you deserve something low because you're not a good person, that is what you will attract. This is why narcissists have a very good life sometimes, because they think highly of themselves and they feel like they deserve something highly of themselves. But other laws causes narcissism to kind of fall down. You have the law of, for instance, cause and effect that can dismantle that. But now we're going off the rails here. Let's get back to the point. True freedom means being unattached to both their criticism and their praise, and that is a way to navigate the physical reality. Regardless of whatever high reality is taking you, know that there will come a low, and when the low is there, know that there will be a high. And the same way you ride a roller coaster, knowing that there's a beginning and an end, and sometimes it goes up and sometimes it goes down, but the main point here is there will be an end. So remaining neutral is kind of the key here. Being in a state of calm, being in a state of gratitude, being in a state of abundance, regardless of what the universe gives you, will be the secret to all of this. And we also have some examples where with the lottery curse, for instance, misalignment with the mental, spiritual, and physical reality. Some people would call this luck. Some other people would call this being very unlucky. There's been examples of people who have lost all of the wealth that they got from a lottery, and that's because there's a misalignment in the three planes of existence: mental, spiritual, and physical. In the physical reality, they were given a lot of money, but in the spiritual and in the mental, they're still poor, and that reflects in poor choices, in poor actions. Their identity was not changed, their attention was on the wrong things, and they didn't create the desired reality they wanted. They even ended up more miserable. And that's not to say don't apply for a lottery ticket, but be sure to change your frequency before you do it. And last thing here is, when you are the source of your self-worth, the world can never take anything away from you. And that is so important to realize, that you are the source of everything. And the world can never take anything away from you if you realize this truly. And this is a constant reminder. So reiterate this for yourself as many times as you need, and realize that your self-worth is only yours, and it can never be given to you. It can only be created by you. It's by you and it's for you. And then let's cover the last chapter, chapter 20, when reality goes wrong, as it will. Chapter 20 quotes, all things rise and fall. So the main point here is that reality moves in waves. Everything that goes up, goes down. It's the law of rhythm. And the more you resist, the more they persist. So if you're in a state of resistance, you will just get more of that, because of the two laws of the universe: magnify and maintain. So you are maintaining a state of resistance, and it is magnified by the persistence. That is deep. Feeding the new frequency is so simple. Just focus on your past wins. That is also a brilliant quote. Tap into that feeling. If you haven't felt it in a long time, watch a video, listen to some music, tap into that feeling of winning, and stay in that frequency, and don't let anyone else drag you down into their shenanigans. Your perception is being used against you, and until it serves you, it will destroy you. That is also a brilliant quote, and it's the way you see life that eventually will create heaven or hell for you. And things not working is an admission that you have not shifted internally to such a degree that your mind has accepted your desired reality. And this is actually a way of troubleshooting manifestation, if you may put it in technical terms. But if you have questions like, how long will it take, or what type of steps do I need to do, or that type of things, then you are in a state of confusion, and you're in a state of impatience, and you are in a state of stress, essentially, because you are not seeing physical reality change. But that means you are in the wrong part of the multi-dimensional sequence, because you are focused on actions and actions only. You are in the grind world. You need to shift left in the multi-dimensional sequence and get to the level of frequency and change that. It's not the way we fall, it's the way we rise. And it might sound a bit cringe, but it truly is the embodiment of this chapter. Adversity equals old frequencies, last stand plus data point. That's a fancy way of saying what adversity is, but yeah, let's cover this. Slips are normal. Use the wins to reset frequency quickly, and this is the main point here. We think of this as kind of like a checkpoint thing with manifestation and spirituality and all that stuff, but it's really a life-going process, and we have to think about it that way, because we will fall down, but it's not really about how we fall down, and that will happen, but it's about how quickly we can get back to a frequency. So if someone cuts you off in traffic, are you angry the whole day? And if someone annoys you, are you annoyed the whole day? If something small happens to you, are you annoyed the whole day? Or are you stressed the whole day? Or do you say things like, well, you ruined my whole day, right? So it's not necessarily about falling down from grace, like Joe Dispenza calls it, but it's more about actually getting back to the state of frequency that we've created for ourselves long enough for us to actually bounce back. And transcend wrong and right, it's about maintaining that calm, neutral, abundant perspective that life has its highs and life has its lows, but our frequency is the most important thing. Be kind to yourself. Do not beat yourself up. Relax and learn from your fall from grace and see what triggers you. This is also very sneaky about this work, because we mix in morality and say that things are good and things are bad, and since you're bad, you will always be bad. But that's kind of slipping into the stream of the hive mind, if you want to call it that. And you don't need to do that. You don't need to be harsh on yourself. Harsh judgment is not an effective way. We've all discovered that in one way or another. Be compassionate with yourself and be kind. Stand calmly among the chaos. Respond, don't react. Hold the new state. A reaction would be you reacting from the old frequency, and responding would be you responding from the new frequency. And here is the law of rhythm. It is partially covered in this book, but I just thought it's a good idea to kind of bounce in here. Life has its highs, life has its low, but it's to remain grateful, calm, peaceful, abundant throughout. That will really create the amazing results you want in life. So don't get sucked into the drama of the universe. Remember, it's all an illusion. It's Maya. It's just TV. You can turn off the TV, you can disconnect from the noise, and you can get back in it when you feel ready. And the last part here about the universe and adversity, I put in a little collage of different characters. Some are real, some are fictitious. You have All Might from My Hero Academia, a character that goes through all of these phases, and it's the way that he smiles regardless of the situation that kind of showcases his brilliance as a character. You have Marcus Aurelius, the godfather of Stoicism, in addition to some other gentlemen. And here is the same point. It's about remaining calm and grateful and neutral regardless. And what's incredible about Marcus Aurelius is that he was at some point the most powerful man in the world, and he still remained that. You have Black Panther, both as a character and as a person. Chadwick, rest in peace. What a brilliant guy with an amazing talent. And same, regardless of the situation he were in, he was able to remain calm and showcase the world his brilliant acting skills. You have Malala, who also went through adversity and turned that adversity into something beautiful. You have Michelle Obama, who is known recently also for her books, but also for being the rock that Barack, no pun intended, needed in the presidency. And you also have Princess Diana, who went through the same thing. So adversity is not something that someone just skips because they're rich, wealthy, or powerful, or have some kind of amazing talent. It happens through all of us, and it happens to all of us, and we have to deal with it, and it's a natural part of life. So here is a summary of block 4. That's chapter 16 to chapter 20. Disconnect from the hive mind and think critically for yourself. This is a crucial part for your spiritual growth, but also for yourself. Attention is the most powerful part of the multidimensional sequence, and the most powerful part of your frequency is emotion. Increasing your frequency might cause some consequences for others. Hopefully not that bad, but people might react to it. So that's just something to prime your brain on, that when you change, people might feel that is uncomfortable because they're used to the old you and whatever boundaries they had with that. And the last part is the law of rhythm, or rhythm of law, dictates that things will go up and things will go down, and you need to be non-attached regardless, and feel like you already have it. Thank you for watching, and in the next video I'll cover some summary of my insights from the book. Some of these insights are things that I've found out myself, other things are directly taken from the book or similar books. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.